So I'm on the Crowbar team at Dell, and we're writing some awesome software that wraps up config management systems like Puppet and allows you to deploy products really fast on bare metal hardware. Think you have an old rack or a brand new rack of shiny Dell gear, and you've got it cabled up, but you've got no OSs or anything on them, and you want to install them all today with networking. That's what Crowbar does, and it does it more or less automatically. To get it set up with BIOS, RAID, and all the way up to, say, a Hadoop deployment or OpenStack deployment. So how does our team work? This is what Crowbar is. Like I said, it's a Rails wrapper around CMDBs. It's a bare metal provisioner or product deployer. Right now we QA OpenStack and Hadoop, the latest one. We let you also pull from source, so you can point Crowbar at a repo either in your organization or like GitHub and pull it down and have Crowbar deploy it for you. Dell supplies reference architectures to our customers, so we'll say this hardware will definitely work for this many nodes of that much OpenStack or whatever. But I want to talk about how our team works, because I think our team works in a way that keeps me really happy despite the corporate world. I'm basically a startup guy, but I've worked in really large organizations as well. And I want to talk a little bit about how our team works. Like most teams, we're doing sprints with tiny little deliverables, shorter the better, so we can stay in touch with our customers. We are doing the minimum viable product. Everybody, all the cats like a box. So we have continuously happy customers. And sometimes we really screw up and we go the wrong way, so we find the right road to go down, and then we make magic awesomeness and no cats are glowing. We just had a major pivot. We were going to go full steam ahead 2 months ago with Crowbar 2.0. But then Grizzly was released, and all of our customers were asking for OpenStack Grizzly. So we did a quick pivot, and we were all able to focus on that and get a whole bunch of stuff done. And we're calling that release Pebbles. We've got this Flintstones thing. It's legacy. So Pebbles is like due out next week or the week after for QA, while some of us are still working on Crowbar 2.0. So these pivot points, when we say, we see this horrible thing coming down the road, that horrible thing can actually be an excellent thing if we don't freak out about it. But we say, it might happen, so what would the new team look like? How would we break up the team? How would we change? An essential part of being a happy team is the engineering brown bags we do every Tuesday over lunch, where somebody on the team teaches other people useful stuff for half an hour. Completely unrelated to organized whatever, just helping each other out, realizing that nobody knows everything, and it's better if you're collaborating and sharing and helping each other out. This is not tied to any sprint deliverables. It's completely optional and usually a lot of fun. But with all those good things, with the typical Agile sprint system where you commit to what you're going to do for the sprint, you burn it down and everything's great, but there's still something bothering you. And when you get to the end of the sprint and there's retrospective and all the work is done, and yeah, it was done and we're happy, but sometimes there's still something bugging you about the way the team is working, or about the way the organization is doing, and nobody's listening because you have no format to say, this stinks, this really sucks, and I kind of hate my job a little bit. So at the end of every sprint, we use this procedure called thinking hats. And I haven't seen it used anywhere else, and I think it's absolutely brilliant because oftentimes, who's heard of this? Oh, a lot of you. Well, 10. So you got 6 hats. All right, you got 6 hats. And so at the end of the sprint, we're done with our retrospective. Hopefully it only took an hour to do the retrospective. And everybody's there, the marketing people are there, management's there, the developers are there, the systems engineers are there, everybody's there. And then we run through all the hats. And so everybody, virtually puts on, we usually start with what do we start with? We start with green hats for last time. So we're going to skip over green hats and go right to yellow hats. And yellow hats are Lee did something awesome for me this week, and it really fixed all my code, and I was able to get unblocked, and really thanks a lot, Lee. Or Randy did an amazing job with a customer, and so yellow hats are just gold stars for people, and it's a way to the team. Everybody's got to bring at least like one yellow hat, otherwise you look like a stinker. That something good actually happened over the course of this sprint. And then there's an open time really for red hats, where there's just something happened that made you feel awful, or something that kind of stings, and you don't expect anything to be done about it. There's no particular thing. You just got to vent a little bit, like, you know, Patch Tuesday completely screwed up my machine, and I just have to vent that to everybody. And then there's white hats that you kind of people throw in every once in a while to help other people with their problems. But the big important thing are black hats, and everybody's invited to put in a black hat, encouraged to put in a black hat, and you email them before the hat session starts. And the project manager collects them all up and puts them on the shared screen, and you go through them one by one, but you don't solve them. The group makes sure that they understand the black hat as submitted by the person who submitted the black hat. Now, a black hat is a problem that they're asking for a solution. Like, I hate our Jenkins server. I just hate it because of this, and it causes me to miss my mark. Or like, the drive keeps filling up and nobody fixes it, and it's a real problem. Or, you know, the guy in the queue next to me chews too loud, and it's really driving me nuts. We had an interesting thing where I was submitting black hats that said, our developers are not reading the public mailing list, and we're an open source project. And then another one of my colleagues says, I work at a corporation, why should I have to read the open source mailing list? Why should I have the queuing? Why should I have random people's problems with Crowbar? And I said, but that's our community. So we, over the course of time, over the course of several iterations, you can see the black hats change. Now, once you're done going through all the black hats that everybody submitted, then the group is responsible for coming up with ideas to solve the black hats, and those are the green hats. And the group talks about it until the black hat submitter is happy. And the black hat submitter says, you know, doing that will solve my problem. Then that green hat, somebody says, I will take on that green hat, and it becomes their highest priority item for that sprint. To make sure that the team keeps evolving, keeps changing, that we look at our process, and we don't just have a post-mortem where everybody's like, wow, that really sucked. You know, you took down production for an hour, and like that, it happens, it's okay, let's go get some beer. That's not actually fixing anything. And if the way your colleague is chewing is driving you nuts, the green hat would be really important so you can have a nice, happy workplace. So it can be awesome to work there. So I've been in this team for a year, and I've seen the team change dramatically in their attitudes towards their work because we are reflecting on how we're doing our work and if the process is working for us. There was a black hat a couple weeks ago. Our sprints are too long, and I'm getting lost in the process. So we opened it up and said, is this right? Is this working for us? Are we sizing our sprints right? A lot of potential with green hats. And so when you finish a sprint and you start with the green hats, then the owner of the black hat can say, yeah, close the black hat, that green hat addressed my problem, it's done, or the black hat can remain open and it stinks for the team. Did that fix it? Are things actually getting fixed? Are you complaining about your organization and it's getting addressed and management's actually listening to you and it's a reasonable thing? And if it's an unreasonable thing, then, you know, are you explaining and you understand why it's an unreasonable thing for your particular organization? And that everybody understands that it's sort of an unreasonable thing, and maybe there's something else that's bothering you that we can help you with so we can all be more productive and happy together. Our team is awesome. We're having a lot of fun, even though we're widely distributed. Some folks are here in Austin. Half the team is in Austin, half the team is in Nashua, New Hampshire, and the other half of the team is distributed throughout the United States. I'm in New York, we've got guys in Silicon Valley. So Crowbar 2.0 goals, this is what we're driving towards now. Right now we are much too intimately connected with Chef, and we've actually already got it all separated out into a sub-project called Jig that allows you to abstract your configuration management system and allow Crowbar to drive whichever of the 2, 3, 4 configuration management systems that are popular now. Crowbar can drive it through Jig. We're improving our orchestration. There's a lot of great orchestration tools in the market now. The ops code has just announced Pushy, which will be open source really soon. There's orchestration tools like Zookeeper, distributed log managers. We're looking at Doozer, and also Zookeeper, and I'm giving a couple names. Right now our database is not HA. We'll just throw in some HA replication on, we're going to go with Postgres. But the thing that allows you to do abstraction of configuration management systems is primarily the notion of attribute injection, where the Puppet guys are talking about, separate your code from your data, make data-driven modules. We're following that same pattern in order to separate out a config management system. We already have really great network management and network setup support. We read the switches. We have some guys who know ARP through and through and inside out, and have already done ARP masquerading and flooding and pinging. So what Crowbar does is it interrogates all your switches to find out where all your macs match, and that's how we get rack aware. So you can see in the Crowbar interface all the racks of all your switches because it can sense through MAC addresses and through ARP in general where your nodes are, and we're going to be improving pull from source. That's it. That's probably 10 minutes, probably more than 10 minutes. And I think it's awesome, and we're looking for help for anybody who wants to hack with us. Thank you.